Hey guys, and bonjour for a beautiful snowy Quebec. Today we're here with Volvo driving their XC90 and EX30. We're gonna start it off with the XC90. So we have the top of the line T8 variant. It's a plug-in hybrid, has an 18.8 kilowatt hour battery pack. Total powertrain output is 455 horsepower. We get over 300 horses on the front axle coming from the internal combustion engine. And we have a little over 143 horsepower coming from the electric motor that powers rear wheels only, so there is no physical drive shaft. Here's our charge port. Now, if you're not familiar with Volvo's lineup, for 2025-2026 Volvo refreshed the XC90, which has been on the market for, believe it or not, 12 years. So we got redesigned front fascia, new pixel headlights with matrix technology. That's very nice to see. Unfortunately, not available in the US. The sideline remained basically the same, and so did the rear end. We have darkened tail lights, pretty snowy, but it's a classic design that has aged so well, and sales numbers only prove that. I mean, this thing has been selling so well, especially in New Jersey where I live. I see them basically in every other driveway in my area. So Volvo did something great with the design. They didn't overcomplicate it, they didn't overstyle it, and it paid off. We have Michelin XI Snow SUV tires on with no stats. They provide amazing grip. I mean, Michelin makes one of the best tires on the market, and we'll prove that in a minute when we hit some of those trails. Let's quickly jump inside. We're joined by our friend Brian from Everyday Reviews.
Hey everyone.
So for 2025-2026, Volvo slightly refreshed the cabin to kind of match the look of the rest of their internal combustion engine powered lineups. New vents, bigger infotainment screen with updated hardware for 2026. We get the Snapdragon processor, and it's pretty fast. Something that Volvo has struggled with for quite a while was their infotainment systems. They were laggy. They had an in-house design that later on moved to Android OS based system, and this iteration is probably the best one. Still wish we had physical climate controls, but you know what? Plenty of times you just put in auto and can adjust your temperature. They cleaned up the storage area in the center console for the facelift, wireless charger, under the armrest space, decent door pockets. Wish we had Bowers & Wilkins sound system. It's Harman Kardon. It's okay, but if you're an audiophile, I highly recommend getting that Bowers & Wilkins because the sound quality is just unbelievable. It was a highlight when it first came out in Volvos in 2014, and it still is to this day. There's no matching vehicle for under $100,000 that has such a good sounding audio system. Some storage here. Glove box. Let's jump out into the second row just to quickly show you guys how much space we have. A couple of different configurations. We can get captain's chairs in the second row or a bench with seats that move individually. There we have it. And we have a child booster. So if you have kids that require a booster and they want to have a dedicated seat, well, Volvo has you covered. So that's cool. Let's quickly check the legroom in the second row. It's spacious, not breathtaking, but as an adult, you're gonna feel comfortable. I'm 6'1", and I have no complaints. I can adjust the backrest. I can slide the seat up and down if I want to provide more space for my second row passengers. USB-C charging ports, climate vents, dedicated climate control, climate vents and B-pillars too. So pretty well executed cabin, super high quality. And one thing you always notice about Volvos is you get inside and they just smell nice. They pay attention to those details. Make sure your senses are policed when you drive those cars. Well, I'm gonna take a quick look at the cargo area. So the XC90 is a mid-sized SUV. It's not gonna provide as much space as something like an X7 or a GLS, but it's still usable. Get some hooks for our groceries. 12-volt power outlet. Would be nice to see a household outlet, which is not available here. Armrest and climate vents for the passengers in the third row, which is folded down right now. Let's close this. Take a quick look at the engine bay, and we're gonna take off to see how this XC90 does in those snowy conditions. Now a power hack. It's the Volvo line from the logo. That's where the thing is. Look how wide this hood opens. I mean, if you have to work on the motor, that's great. So again, 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, over 300 horsepower. It's basically a B6, which is an iteration of the T6. No supercharger anymore. There's an electric compressor that's gonna help you with boost, but it's a much simpler setup, and the tuning on this is actually pretty nice. All right, let's close this because it's absolutely freezing outside. Gonna take it for a spin, see how it does in those snowy conditions. A couple of drive modes to choose from. Hybrid, self-explanatory. The car is gonna juggle between the internal combustion engine and electric motor. As long as we have battery and juice in it, we will be driving on the electric motor. We can put it into power mode, which is gonna optimize the work of both internal combustion engine and the electric motor to give you max power. Pure mode, which is purely electric mode. Only rear axle is driven unless there's a very, very noticeable slippage or you go past the accelerator. It's gonna kick in the front engine to provide you better traction and all-wheel drive system. Let's start off in hybrid mode. No sport modes, none of that. It's a Volvo, so we don't need that. We can have the battery in auto mode. We can hold it, so if you want to save your charge for later when you enter a city, it's a big thing in Europe. Some cities are green zones only. Is that a case in Canada too, Brian, or no, where some cities require?
No.
Okay, so not in Canada.
Everyone, lunch is in approximately half hour at 11:45.
All right, so we have 30 minutes to do this. It's gonna be quicker than that. You can also charge it, so you drive on a highway, want to have some electricity down the line. You can have the internal combustion engine power the car and charge the battery. All right, let's get going. See how we do in hybrid mode first. Okay, traction. Actually, amazing traction from those Michelin tires. Super easy to drive this thing. Let's put it into pure mode. Oh yeah, I basically have pushed the throttle to the metal and it was slipping a lot. The off-road mode is gonna kick on the internal combustion engine and have more region braking, apply brakes as well. So when you go down the hill, the car detects there's a change in the slope and noticeably slows down. And all-wheel drive, just amazing. Now, it's not going to replace a mechanical, even Haldex-based all-wheel drive system, but the way Volvo programmed it is pretty smart. I cannot complain about it whatsoever. Yeah, guys, there is nothing better than winter tires, and something that Brian mentioned in his video was it doesn't even have to be snowy conditions. The temperature drops below 7 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That softer compound can make a night and day difference. I had a chance to drive many performance car in that weather with Pilot Sports 4S's, some safe understeer here, and they were basically impossible to drive. So even if it's not snowing, make sure to have a good set of rubber on your car if you live in colder climate, because it will be much, much safer, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Now, as of driving the suspension work, it's a typical XC90 based on a SPA platform. We still feel some of those high frequency vibrations that get transmitted into the cabin when we hit sharper, smaller potholes. The revised XC60, so its second facelift for 2025, 2026, received dual flow dampers, which seem to be reacting a little bit better to imperfections. Seems like the rebound is nicer. There isn't that much coming into the cabin, but still noticeable. It just shows the age of the platform. They could have improved the structural rigidity here probably, and also redesigned the NVH isolators, but it's still something that's not punishing. It's still such a comfortable vehicle, especially combined with those seats. You're really gonna love it. I mean, if I had a need for a family 3-row SUV that I could afford, the XC90 would still be on my list. All right, thank you. XC60 cross country, you might have seen my review. Interesting alternative to an SUV, not to an XC90, but more to an XC60. But yeah, I feel like maybe I'm not unstoppable in those driving conditions, but I feel very safe and confident. That's one thing that you feel subconsciously when you get in a Volvo. The doors are super heavy. You feel like you're nicely taken care of in the car. Driving position, again, fantastic. You can do hours and hours of driving in those seats. I have back problems myself, and I've done so many trips to Texas from New Jersey and back, and zero pain, whereas in some cars I can be in pain after an hour of driving. So yeah, fantastic job, Volvo. Still an interesting proposition. Let's see if there's going to be further updates to it, because Volvo is not saying no to internal combustion engines just yet. So let's see what the future brings. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later.